Mingyan's on a mission from his Khan. His famous charisma and good looks will only get him so far, though. He's slipped past the night watch, and he's gotten through door after door to get to the innermost part of the palace. He enters a dark room, lit only by the pallid light of a single lantern. There on the throne sleeps the Khan he's here to capture, the great Kerman Kahn. But on one side waits a leopard, on the other a bear, ready to pounce at the least provocation. And the Khan himself, even while asleep, clutches a sword against his chest. Mingyan's already got the Khan's amulet. So he sneaks up to the throne and slips the sword out from Kerman's grip. Mingyan raises the sword and prepares to vanquish this sleeping Khan.
Hello, and welcome back to Badass of the Week. My name is Ben Thompson, and I am joined once again by my co-host, Dr. Pat Larish. Pat, welcome back. Thank you for coming back on the show. And
Hey, it's good to be here.
Yeah, and you are bringing something that I've been pretty excited about for the last couple of weeks since you mentioned it. You had mentioned that maybe we would be returning to the magical kingdom of Boomba with another story from the multi-tiered yellow tower of Jengar Khan.
Oh, yes. What a great description.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's been long enough since we've had a Jengar story, and I feel like it's time to bring him back.
I'm glad you feel that way. I love this. I live in a very urban situation, and just escaping into the expansive world of the steppes, maybe with riding along a really cool horse with their mane and tail trailing in the wind. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So that's what we're going to do today. We are going to visit, so the stories of Jengar, we have talked about them twice before on the podcast. Jengar is a mythological Khan from the Kalmyk people's mythology, which is kind of, semi-Mongol is my understanding. So he's basically like Mongol King Arthur, and he has his Knights of the Round Table. He has 6,012 knights, but 12 of those knights are the Boar Knights, and those are like the big name guys. Scarlet Lion Kongor being one of them, Handsome Mingyan. There's a guy called Savar Heavy Arm who uses a 12-bladed axe, which sounds awesome. And like you said, like a little episodic, like these guys, they have little adventures. And King Arthur, I feel like, is always a good comparison for them, because Bumba Kingdom is basically their Avalon or their Camelot. And from there, they travel around and have adventures. And Jengar sits on his throne with rivers of fermented mare's milk called Arza. And he dispatches his knights to go have missions and adventures. And it's this kind of heroic, epic cycle that you could almost hear it being like, I don't know, Mongolian throat singers reciting these stories in a yurt somewhere in the year 1400.
Yeah.
And cool. So we are going to talk about one of these episodes today. You have come with a story. I know nothing about what's going to happen in the story, to the degree where our working document for this is just labeled Secret Jengar Episode in all caps, and I haven't opened the file yet. So, So the mystery has been killing me for days and days and days now as you've been working on this. And so, Pat, what is the name of this episode?
Okay, so this episode, in Bugdayeva's translation, this is cycle 7 of, it's the 7th of 10 episodes. And Ben, the name may sound familiar. The title of this episode is How Mingyan, the Finest Man in the Universe, Captured Mighty Kerman Kahn.
Okay, well, that sounds great. I'm excited to see Handsome Mingyan back in action, and he gets elevated by cycle 7 from Handsome Mingyan to, what is it, the most wonderful man in the universe?
Close, the finest man in the universe, but
finest
that
man
might
in
be a
the
matter of
universe.
translation. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's take our break early so that we don't have to interrupt the story. So we'll take a break right now. And when we come back, we're going to hear about Handsome Mingyan. And I'm hoping the story also involves his horse, Golden Sharga, who
Oh, Golden Sharga is totally there.
Oh, good. Yeah, because it's a talking horse that yells at him, and it's really funny.
Yeah.
So stay with us. You're not gonna want to miss this one. All right, welcome back. I'm here with my co-host, Dr. Pat Larish. And Pat, you have a Jengar. We're going to do a Jengar.
We're going to do a Jengar, yeah. And by Jengar, we don't mean the wooden block game where you build a tower and you try to make it not fall apart. We're talking, the Khan.
Okay, so we are in the mythical land of Bumba, which is generally in present-day Mongolia. On the steppes of Russia and Mongolia.
So as many of these episodes start off, we are hanging out not just in Bumba, but in Jengar's palace. And a lot of his warriors, a lot of his boar warriors, his noblemen are around him. And Jengar, he's in touch with his emotions. He's crying.
Oh, he was crying at the beginning of one of these other ones.
Yeah.
And I feel like it was because he was like, I'm so awesome. I'm so sad because I'm so awesome that nobody could be as cool as me.
This is, okay. So, Ben, you could play the role of eloquent mediator Jilgon. Eloquent mediator Jilgon tries to find out, oh, Lord Jengar Khan, why are you crying? Is it this? Is it that? Is it like, I hate to pry, but are you having trouble with your wife? Is it possible that maybe the Bumba Palace isn't marvelous enough? Well, it's actually the opposite. And actually, Ben, Bumba is the kingdom of Bumba, the Khanate of Bumba, is actually too successful. And we've heard this song before, Jengar's Khanate is so successful and so awesome that it inspires envy among rivals, including mighty Khan Kerman. Jengar figures out that, Kerman Kahn has been trying to, take over Bumba, attack Bumba, undermine Bumba, something like that. Seems like the easiest solution is to go and capture Kerman Kahn.
Okay. Preemptive strike.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how Jengar, like a lot of the stories we've encountered so far, and the ones that my understanding is that the stories that are in this book isn't the full Jengar mythos. It's just kind of a selection from the thing.
Yeah.
But a lot of his stories involve him having to defeat a rival, and then he makes them part of his team. And so whenever there's like a worthy adversary, he has to go defeat them. And then now they have to come work for him and be part of his kingdom and Khanate. Kind of mirrors like how Genghis Khan got his empire going of defeating the other Khans, and then rather than beheading them, now your men are mine, and then we'll make this huge Mongol horde and we'll ride all across the steppes.
Yeah. So there's still an opportunity for career advancement.
Okay. So what's Khan Kerman's deal, and what's the plan here?
Yeah. So the plan is, every good Khan has an advisor who, in this case, is Shaman Goldenheart. And Shaman Goldenheart advises Jengar to pick Mingyan, whom we've met before as Handsome Mingyan. And he's proven his mettle. He's stolen 10,000 pinto horses, right?
Yeah. He stole 10,000 pinto horses. He participated in the battle against Khan Ironhead Manga. He helped out Scarlet Lion Kongor when Scarlet Lion needed a horse. Mingyan was there to help him out. So we've seen Mingyan. Mingyan had to single-handedly capture 10,000 horses. It wasn't just that he stole 10,000 horses. He had to single-handedly capture 10,000 horses from like a rival Khan's palace.
And, he's clever. He's resourceful. He's got a pretty clever horse, Golden Sharga. And he's Handsome Mingyan. He's like the charisma guy. Mm-hmm. So sometimes he can kind of work the room.
Yes.
And
I don't even, We told everybody to go back and listen to the other episodes, and if you haven't yet, you probably should, because there's going to be some weird stuff that I kind of want to reference here.
Okay.
Because at some point, he turned himself into a spider.
Yeah.
Which is a weird power that he has.
Apparently. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He can turn himself into a spider.
Great.
You know. Yeah.
Okay, so Shaman Goldenheart is kind of the Merlin here. He was friends with Jengar's dad, and he's kind of the wise old kind of wizardy advisor for Jengar. And he says to pick Mingyan because Mingyan needs another suicide mission.
Well, okay, yes. And so Mingyan, so Ben, do you remember from the previous Mingyan episode when Jengar says, hey, Mingyan, can you go on this solo mission? How does Mingyan respond? Is he like, yeah, I'm totally on board?
That was a weird one because, when Jengar asks him in the last one, he's like, hey, can you go? You have to go on this dangerous mission all by yourself. Instead of doing the Arthurian thing, which is like, yes, my lord, it will be an honor to serve the crown. He's like, why do you hate me? Would you hate me? Why you make me do this crazy job all by? This is a suicide mission.
Yeah.
Why are you doing this to me?
Yeah. And, and in that episode and in this one, Mingyan, he has this little kind of routine that he does. So maybe this is just his routine. Maybe this is part of his negotiation. I don't know. But he says, oh, Jengar, are you picking on me just because I'm all alone here in Bumba? Because, I had to leave behind my original wife and baby daughter back in the land that I came from when I came to work for you. And are you just sending me away because I don't have any attachments here? Maybe this is like a symbolic way of saying it's hard to get out of bed in the morning.
Mm-hmm. I got a lot of jobs I don't want to do either.
Yeah. So anyway, Shaman Goldenheart, he's the wiser, older guy. He says to Mingyan, hey, Mingyan, bruh, if you go on this mission and if you're successful, it'll be a heroic deed with your name on it.
Yeah, but he's like you said, he's Handsome Mingyan. He's a charismatic guy. He's out there. People like him, and he kind of MCs the big feasts and things like that. He's the guy that gets up there and talks and make sure everybody's having a good time and all that.
And also he has an awesome horse.
He does have an awesome horse. Golden Sharga is a lot of fun.
Yeah. So Golden Sharga, so Mingyan, he's like, okay, twist my arm, I'll do it. And so Mingyan and Golden Sharga, they suit up and they put on, fabulous armor, and Golden Sharga has a saddle adorned with Tibetan silver, and they gallop off toward the sunset.
Nice. A good gearing up montage, getting your gear together.
And they gallop away, heading off towards the sunset. I guess this means they're going to the west. And they reach the observation tower, Bolzatin Boro. And they hear, hey, Mingyan, someone's calling. It is Shaman Goldenheart. He's on his horse. He's a little out of breath. He wanted to make sure Mingyan got some advice. So this is what's in Shaman Goldenheart's PowerPoint presentation. 3 things. 1, after 3 months on the road, because of course these journeys take so long. After 3 months on the road, Mingyan, you will encounter Kavshil, the teeth-gnashing camel.
Starting off strong.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Well, we live in a world where camels are, an important part of the scene. And this camel belongs to Tengri, the sky god. Okay, this is something that actually deserves advice, you think?
Yeah,
okay.
If you're gonna run into the teeth gnashing camel of the sky god, that would be nice to have a heads up on. And if this story comes after Handsome Mingyan stealing 10,000 horses in the chronology, Handsome Mingyan has grievously wounded the son of the sky god as well.
Yes, that is true.
And so
that is true.
Maybe sky god's not that happy about it. And I think in this world, the sky god is the main god of this religion.
Yeah, it's from what I understand, it's kind of a mix of shamanism with Tengri, the sky god, as the main god, and also a lot of Buddhist influence. So yeah, Tengri the sky god. And hey, if you happen to have killed his son, okay, you might want to watch out.
They didn't kill him. They captured him, but he did wound him. He did hit him with a lance, capture him, tie him up.
Something that for any mere mortal would be, yeah.
But yeah, so, okay, so this is the sky god. This is not some minor sky god. This is not, you're running into this particular lake has a demigod that lives there. This is like the gnashing teeth camel of the main deity of this religion. Cool.
Yeah. And Shaman Golden's Heart advice, he says, basically, honestly, just do your tricks, Mingyan. Do you.
You'll figure it out. You'll be fine.
Use your skills. Use the force, Mingyan. And
you'll figure it out. It'll come to you when you see the giant teeth gnashing camels bearing down on you. You'll come up with something. Don't worry about it. Try not to think about it too hard over the next 3 months while you're riding out there to meet it.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Shaman Golden Heart. Okay. And then he says after 3 more months, you will reach 6 trees. There are 3 magic sandalwood trees and 3 magic poplar trees. And hanging out around those trees are 500 witch maidens.
Witch maidens? Like Halloween witch?
Like, I'm assuming witch as in, like, they have some sort of magic abilities. And
I just want to make sure I heard you correctly. Witch with a W.
Yeah, witch with a W. Yeah, witch maidens. Maidens who are witches. Maidens who have, some sort of magical power and might be kind of, I don't know, dangerous in mysterious and unspecified ways.
Okay, 500. Yep, got it.
So Shaman Golden's Heart advice is, okay, you're going to be riding on Golden Sharga. Release his reins and let him do his thing. He will get you out of there. So use the force, Golden Sharga.
Yeah, this is inspiring even less confidence. We're going to run into 500 wizards and like your horse will figure, just let the horse do it. Don't even try to talk to these people.
Okay, but this is Golden Sharga. I mean,
Golden Sharga is not just any horse. Golden Sharga is like, in some ways more badass than Mingyan. Golden Sharga ran for like 3 days with like arrows sticking out of all 4 of its legs at one point. So
yeah. Okay, so we've got Golden Sharga. I don't know what Golden Sharga thinks about all this. In the text of this episode, in the translation I'm using from Bugdaeva, Golden Sharga doesn't actually say anything. But Ben, I'm gonna just invite you as a listener to supply what you think he might be saying, because I think
I'm sad he doesn't talk, because he talks in the last one. In the last one, he does. In the last one, like they're riding out there, and you know how like in cowboy movies, the cowboy's riding and he needs to go a little bit harder, and he's talking to the horse like, "Come on, horse, I need you to stick with it." Like in the Handsome Mingyan episode. Like he's getting tired of riding, and the horse is like, "Dude, if you fall off, I'm just gonna keep going and do the mission without you. Like, you gonna hold on or not? But like, you got to stick with me. I'm gonna get there." And then there's a couple times where Mingyan's like, "I don't know about this mission," and Golden Sharga's like, "We're doing this mission. Stop complaining. We're getting out there. We're gonna do this. Khan told us we got to do it." And then at one point, like they're running away, and the son of the sky god is chasing them. They're trying to drive these horses away, and the son of the sky god is chasing them. And he starts putting arrows into Golden Sharga, and they chase him. I mean, there's some horse chase that lasts for, I feel like this 3 months is kind of symbolic, because the 3 months as a time period comes up a lot. There's some kind of numerology happening here or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's like impaled with a bunch of arrows, and he's like talks to Mingyan, and he says, "Hey, I've only got like 1 more day of running before I'm going to pass out from all these arrows sticking out of me."
Yeah.
So all great stuff. I'm sad he doesn't talk in this one, but that's the character of Golden Sharga, the horse. So I feel like Mingyan will crack before Golden Sharga does. And the story here is interesting. We tell it in the first episode of Jengar, but the story here is that the Kalmyk people opposed the rise of Lenin. They fought for the White Army during the Russian Civil War. And when they were defeated, there was kind of a strong movement to kind of stamp out Kalmyk language and culture inside the Soviet Union. And the version that we have was recorded by one guy who like ran a
Namto
Kalmyk.
Ochirov.
Yes, and he ran a Kalmyk newspaper, and he collected all of the stories that he could find on Jengar, and a lot of them were just from one guy who was singing them, and he wrote it all down, and that's where we have these stories from, which is just an awesome, like this is kind of in some ways all that remains of these stories, and so we only have the one version, but I remember in that episode you said there was a word for a person who recites Jengar stories.
A Jangarchi.
Yeah, and so they have a word for this guy, this job, which means there probably were a lot of people who used to do it. So there's probably a million variations on this story. You run into that with the Greek myths and, even
any sort of oral tradition,
or even written. I mean, look at look at the Wikipedia for any Marvel superhero. There's like 15 different like timelines of things that happen to him. Oh no! In this one, this happens, and in this one, no. Amazing Spider-Man is a completely different story than Superior Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And so that's I imagine that's how this works as well. So if Golden Sharga doesn't talk, we know that his character is generally that he's ready to he's ready to roll. He's a loyal servant of Khan Jengar.
he's a loyal servant of Khan Jengar, and he when he needs to, he'll get a little salty. Yeah.
So he's going to deal with these witches.
He's going to totally deal with the witches. Now that's point 2.
Okay.
I said there were 3 points. Point 3. Okay. After yet another 3 months, Mingyan, Shaman Goldenheart, is telling him, you will encounter 2 gadflies.
Giant killer gadflies? Or
they are described as gadflies.
Okay. What are you supposed to do with them?
Well, actually, it's a case of lather, rinse, and repeat. Again, the instructions from Shaman Goldenheart are release Golden Sharga's reins and let him do his thing, and you will get past those gadflies.
I'm looking at a picture of one right now, and it's smaller than like an index finger. It's smaller than like your fingertip. I mean, honestly, here I've got to say, like, kind of thanks for nothing, Shaman Goldenheart. You know, you're gonna have these 3 obstacles and just whatever, do whatever. Not helpful information to me. There's some kind of catch with these gadflies, but if you're not gonna tell me what it is, then like, why are we even talking right now? All right.
Okay, so Mingyan, armed with this, incredibly detailed and precise information, hops back on Golden Sharga, and Mingyan and Golden Sharga, they're riding, and after the requisite 3 months, they get to, indeed, they encounter Kavshil, the teeth-gnashing camel of the sky god. And Kavshil kind of goes after them, and he's fearsome, he gnashes his teeth, and Mingyan basically, as Goldenheart Shaman said, Mingyan just basically uses his tricks. Mingyan, he dodges, he leaps, he darts, he feints, he parries. He jumps up on Kavshil between the camel's 2 humps and finally overcomes him finally and for real. Kavshil is defeated. Mingyan cuts off Kavshil's 2 humps and cooks and eats them.
Oh. So he kills that. He kills that camel.
Yeah.
And I am picturing like a giant mutant, like evil demon camel here, not just an angry, ordinary camel that is extremely angry. This sounds like there's a battle here. We've seen that Mingyan's a great warrior. He's an archer. He throws a spear. We know he carries a spear. And so he has to climb up. I'm picturing like Shadow of the Colossus. He has to climb up like the back of this camel and impale it. And then he cooks it. So I mean, you're in the desert, right? I mean, wherever a camel lives, you probably need to conserve food somehow. So.
This is, and humps are where camels conserve their food.
Yeah, so
that's where they conserve their calories. Yeah,
it's practical.
Yeah, so it's very practical. And yes.
So Goldenheart Shaman was right. You'll know what to do. Just have an epic battle with it and kill it.
Yes, as like you do. So Mingyan and Golden Sharga, they ride on for another 3 months, and then they get to the 3 sandalwood trees and 3 poplar trees, and indeed, there are 500 witch maidens, and they try to tempt him. They say, "Oh, Mingyan, why don't you stay here and hang out with us?"
Oh, handsome Mingyan. Why don't you just go around this? Why don't you just skirt this? Take another 3 months, go around it.
Mm-hmm. And, okay, he starts to succumb. Like, oh, you know what? I'm here. I could hang out.
Don't do it, Mingyan. Release the reins.
Yes, he releases the reins. And Golden Sharga leaps. And he leaps again. And he leaps again. And he makes 18,000 leaps.
Whoa.
I confess I'm a little fuzzy on the details here. But somehow, Golden Sharga just leaping and jumping and leaping and jumping manages to get the witches to back off.
I'm trying to envision like 500 witches coming at Handsome Mingyan, and then the horse just starts jumping around. 18,000 jumps would take you like hours and hours and hours. And he's just going crazy, making a bunch of noise, jumping around. Like, I think at some point you'd have to just be like, okay, I don't know what's happening here, but I think I'm out. This horse seems real upset, and like, I'm just going to steer clear of this because I don't know what's happening with this crazy horse.
That is what happens. And the witches, he does not kill the witches. And they say, they concede. They say, okay, yeah, we're not going to win this one. We have, in the past, successfully lured in hundreds of thousands other travelers, but I guess you can't win them all.
I mean, they probably shouldn't have opened with like, we've lured 100,000 men to their deaths here, but you can come too if you want. I feel like just leave that 100,000 people to their deaths part out.
Maybe they wanted him to feel special.
Yeah. Okay.
You know? I don't know. So Mingyan and Golden Sharga, they gallop onward. 3 months later, indeed, they encounter 2 gadflies. So he follows directions again, and he releases Golden Sharga's reins, and Golden Sharga, once again, makes 18,000 leaps, all for the 2 gadflies.
And they leave?
They're kind of, I don't know, defeated. And Mingyan, just to make sure, he chops them up and burns their bodies.
Chops up the gadflies and burns them.
Yeah. I think I'm missing something here, or this is intentionally anticlimactic. I don't know.
Yeah, I was really waiting
I don't know.
for, it was like, they're just gadflies. And then you get there and it's like, they're made out of sand and they're like 15 stories tall and you have to fight them.
Well, I mean, we have no evidence that they're not.
That's true. It's like a 1-letter. Yeah. I don't know. That's bizarre. I mean, at least he didn't eat the witches.
No.
That would have been weird.
That'd be weird. Yeah.
Okay. And now all he has to do is single-handedly defeat mighty Kerman Kahn in combat. I feel like his instructions there were kind of vague as well. Go defeat this guy. He's building up a massive army that's going to challenge our 6,012 boar knights and the kingdom of Boomba. Just go out there and deal with it. You'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So before we get too far, let's pause right there for a second and do a real quick ad break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Let's continue. So
Mingyan goes forth intending to deal with it, and he and Golden Sharga ride on and on and on, and then finally, in the distance, he sees a tall, gleaming tower. It's all made of glass. It's shaped like a Garuda, like an eagle deity.
Oh.
Yeah. And he measures it, like he, eyeballs it, uses his fingers, maybe he does some trigonometry, and he's thinking, oh, this is actually bigger than Jengar's palace. The Khan of this palace, he thinks to himself, is perhaps the lord of one of the 4 sides of the world. That sounds pretty grand.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Yeah. So Mingyan reasonably decides to take it slow. He wants to scope out the joint, figure out the situation, do some recon. He pitches camp well outside the palace city. He makes himself some tea, He falls asleep for 49 days straight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tired. I mean,
I would be too
after
after
jumping.
jumping.
That drive, a little tired after like watching the horse do 18,000 jumps twice.
Yeah. After defeating 2 gadflies. Yes.
It's been a long day.
Yeah. Okay, so he sleeps and he sleeps. Okay, oh my goodness. We all need to sleep for 49 days, honestly. Oh, yeah. Modern life is too busy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But something does wake him up. He feels something on his face. He feels someone muzzling his face. Who do you think it is?
It's Golden Sharga. Well, you were doing
Time to wake
nothing,
up, buddy.
being lazy, dreaming about witches. I was out there doing recon.
Mingyan knows that he has to go into the city and capture Kerman Kahn, but he doesn't barge into the city. Now, Ben, this may sound a little familiar. He disguises himself as a scrubby urchin boy.
Yes, that's a thing.
Yeah.
He's been like, it's kind of his go-to move here.
Yeah. So he does that. He disguises himself as this scrubby little ragamuffin, and he disguises Sharga as a scrawny colt.
I love that they have to disguise the horses too, because the horses are so awesome.
Yes.
Because this is Mongol mythology, and the horse is such an important part of Mongol culture. And so, like, they've got to disguise the horse. Like, my horse is too awesome. I got to make it look grubby or something.
Not awesome.
Like, people don't realize it's the amazing war horse of like the greatest hero of all time.
So, yeah. And like he did in that previous episode, he gives him a sprinkling of lice for good measure.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, okay.
A lot of parallels to the last one, although the last guy's castle was brass, and this one's made out. Or that one was bronze, and this one's glass.
Yeah, fair.
So probably actually way harder to make a palace out of glass than out of bronze.
Yeah, you shouldn't throw stones.
Yeah. Although it feels like it might be kind of easier to kidnap a dude out of a glass building.
Maybe, yeah. They get closer to the actual boundary of the palace compound, and out of the palace walks an elegant woman. Oh, wait, I realized I forgot one key thing from Shaman Goldenheart's advice. Whoops, there were actually 4 points on his PowerPoint.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Whoops. Okay. So because this one is, it's not confrontational. Shaman Goldenheart actually tells him what to do.
Oh, okay.
He says, you will meet a woman from the palace. She is a royal maid. She was actually born as a princess. She's actually somehow kind of related to Jengar somehow. And make friends with her. She will help you.
That is useful advice.
Very useful advice, yes. So a woman walks out of the palace, and Mingyan's in disguise, Sharga's in disguise, looking like totally grody. And this woman, this very elegant woman, says, she's a lady in waiting or something. She says, "Oh, honorable knight." And she's directing this at Mingyan. "Honorable knight, peace be to you." And Mingyan either takes umbrage or pretends to take umbrage and says, "Hey, lady, find a grown-up nobleman from the palace to make fun of. Just leave me alone." And she says, "Oh, come on, Mingyan, I know you. Surely Shaman Goldenheart must have mentioned me." And Mingyan says, okay, yeah, you clocked me. And Shaman Goldenheart totally did mention you. And he said I should ask you for advice.
I love this. And I'm just picturing like He-Man and Battle Cat, like pretending to like when the Ninja Turtles put a hat on and they try to blend in with humans. Because it's like this guy's like this giant, handsome warrior from like the knights of like the Boar Knight of Jengar. And like, maybe he thinks his disguise is awesome, but it's just not that good. Like you're not actually, even with the lice, man, you don't look like you're 6'8" and like, and super buff. And like, you walk like you're carrying a sword. It's poking out. You walk like you're a warrior. You're not acting like, you looked me in the eyes when I came out the thing. The peasants don't do that. Just completely not that good at the disguise thing.
So I guess apparently among Mingyan's many skills, passing as an urchin is not, Or maybe she also has the ability to, maybe she's good at seeing through disguises also.
Yes, she could have magic. She could have magic, or she could be like super perceptive, or could have gotten a heads
good at reading
up.
people. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So she says, Kerman Kahn is one of the 4 Khans of the world, and he's got this like advisor who's kind of a protector god, White Old Sage. And White Old Sage said to Kerman recently, hey, by the way, you might want to take into account the fact that Jengar's, quote, devil is coming from the east. You should be prepared. That's what White Old Sage said. But Kerman Kahn ignored his advice and said, oh, no, there's no threat from that direction. I've conquered all those lands. What are you talking about? But Kerman, or maybe Kerman just didn't want to hear this. Anyway, but Kerman wasn't the only one who heard White Old Sage's prophecy. This woman, the royal maid, also heard this prophecy. As soon as she heard those words, she knew she had to come out to meet Mingyan.
So I'm realizing that this might be a story about, like, you should listen to your elders, because Shaman Goldenheart shows up and he has, I mean, the talk to the woman at the palace is a good piece of advice. The rest of it's not that good, right? And you and me were kind of making fun of it as bad advice, or at least I was. And but Mingyan listened to it, and this woman that he's met, she listens to the wise old elders' information.
White Old Sage.
Yes, but this Kerman Kahn, he's this young punk who doesn't want to take advice from his elders. He thinks he's too cool for it, and that I have a feeling is going to be his downfall.
Well, so Mingyan does listen to Shaman Goldenheart, even if Shaman Goldenheart's advice seems very vague. So he says, okay, hello, elegant woman from the palace whom I have just met. But you have a good reference from Shaman Goldenheart. What is your advice? Now, her advice is actually very specific.
Good.
She says, Kerman Kahn wears a white amulet around his neck. She says, when he wears the amulet, he's invincible. But when he's not wearing it, he's weak as a child.
Oh.
So the obvious conclusion is, ergo, you, Mingyan, need to go into the palace, get the amulet, take it from off his neck, and capture him that way. And then she says the same thing that Shaman Goldenheart says, which is, if you succeed in this endeavor, it will be a very great heroic feat, and it will bring glory to your name. And if not, just go to Kerman the next morning after you attempt to capture him, and just bow to him, and he'll offer you a job as his master of ceremonies, his senja.
Which might be a promotion if this guy's like the king of the whole West, right? He might be like a more powerful king than Jengar.
Hey, maybe. I mean, I don't know. I mean, being the master of ceremonies in a glass palace, that sounds kind of cool, actually.
Sounds pretty cool. I mean, maybe he'll be cool with like, hey, remember, it was kind of weird when I snuck into your bedroom and tried to steal that thing off your neck while you were asleep so that I could capture you
well,
for my rival Khan. But, no hard feelings, right?
Well, I sort of wonder, don't hate the player, hate the game, or maybe not even hate the game. She's like, oh yeah, this is the game. Yeah, like I respect you for taking on that feat.
Yeah, I'm a loyal servant of my Khan, and he told me to do this, so I was trying to do it. And anyway, it didn't work out. Oops.
And,
don't kill me.
So now, So this is what the woman says to him, and then she says, "Okay, later, dude," and returns to the palace. Night falls. Mingyan, and he's done a lot of recon, like he knows kind of the layout as far as he can see it. Problem is, it's guarded by 8,000 guards outside the palace walls and 8,000 guards inside the palace walls.
That's a lot.
What would you do, Ben, if you were Mingyan?
That's a lot of people. That's a lot of guards. 8,000. Yeah. 16,000.
Yeah, you have been listening to old episodes. You've been studying the ways of Handsome Mingyan.
Does he turn into a spider?
Close. He turns into a snake.
Okay. I feel like that would have been effective against the witches, too. Just turn to a snake and slither past so that they don't know that you're Handsome Mingyan. Mm-hmm. Maybe you can only do it once an adventure.
He's got a cap. So Mingyan turns himself into a snake. And, okay, I also realize, I apologize, I haven't been taking good notes. He also received another instruction, which was turn Golden Sharga into a knucklebone.
A knucklebone?
Yeah. Like weird, oddly shaped piece of bone that, in some cultures is used as like a die for gambling.
Okay.
And it's just like this random little thing, a little thing you can put on the shelf.
If you could turn a horse into that, like I feel like there would be some useful applications of that.
Yeah.
Horses are always kind of a pain when you're in a Dungeons and Dragons adventure because you got to get them across rivers or upstairs or whatever. And sometimes it gets kind of tricky to maneuver them. But if you could turn them into a knuckle bone and put it in your pocket, pull it out when you're ready for a cavalry charge, that would be kind of useful, I feel like.
Yeah.
How's he going to carry it in snake form with no arms?
Well, okay, so here's the thing. He doesn't carry it with him. He leaves it. He turns Golden Sharga into a knucklebone and then turns the Sharga knucklebone. He leaves the Sharga knucklebone just kind of right there, like by the doorstep. Mm-hmm. And he slithers on.
Don't forget where you left it.
Yeah.
Don't forget where you left your magic, awesome talking horse.
I mean, you just snap a picture with your phone, right?
Yeah, that's how I do it.
That's what we do in parking lots. Yeah. See, yeah. So he turns Golden Sharga into a knucklebone. He slithers on towards the palace, and he passes by 8,000 guards unnoticed because he's just a snake. I mean, we were making fun of his urchin disguise before, but that was very specifically this one lady in waiting. Okay. And she's perceptive. These are 8,000 guards, whatever, snake.
I feel like they'd still attack a snake if they saw a snake. If you saw a
snake.
Like you're guarding the Sultan or the Khan or whatever, and then you see some kind of snake, you don't know if it's poisonous or not, but you might want to just throw that thing outside if you come across it. I feel like I'd turn into something a little bit, maybe a mouse or something a little less threatening.
It is nighttime.
Okay.
So maybe he's able to just kind of hide in the shadows,
slither around.
And he gets into the palace. He has to pass another 8,000 guards. And actually, according to the text, this is actually where he leaves the sheep knucklebone. So somehow he's been carrying it with him. I don't know.
In his mouth, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, sure, that word. I mean, well, actually, yeah. Can't snakes unlock their jaws or something?
Oh, yeah.
Or some snakes? I don't know. Who knows?
Vomit
and this
up
is
your
also
horse in the courtyard.
Exactly. Yeah.
What's his plan to exfiltrate his prisoner?
Exfiltrate. I love that word. Well, I'm
getting ahead of myself because I just that's the thing that is in my head right now is what is your plan? Yeah. How are you going to pick up Golden Sharga on your way out when you've left him in a courtyard surrounded by 8,000 guards? And presumably you are going to be carrying an unwilling prisoner with you.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, do you want to speculate or do you just want to?
No, I have no. I'm sure that I'm not going to guess correctly.
I just want to put it out there because I like this verb. How will Handsome Mingyan exfiltrate his prisoner, assuming he is able to successfully capture Kerman Kahn after all this? So Mingyan, in snake form, he crawls, or I guess slithers through the crack of a door, and then another door, and then another door, 14 doors in all, until he gets into the Torlock Tower. Torlock is a thing. He gets into the Torlock Tower. He enters a room, and it's very dimly lit. There's only one lantern hanging high up. It's the court hall. It's the throne room. Mingyan sees the sacred white throne. Kerman is on it. Kerman is sleeping.
Sleeping on his throne. Wow.
Yeah. But Kerman is holding, even while he's sleeping, he's holding his sword made of yellow steel across his chest. And on one side, there is sitting a leopard, and on the other side is sitting a bear. And they are relaxed, but they look like they're ready to spring into action if called upon.
So this is not sneak into his bedroom and pull the amulet off his neck. This is Kerman Kahn, the mighty Kerman Kahn, lord of 1/4 of the earth, on his white throne with a yellow steel sword with a leopard and a bear guarding him. This guy sounds awesome. Yeah. I kind of want to hear his adventures too.
I would, yeah, agreed. Yeah.
What's that bear story? Where'd he meet that bear?
Yeah. We need the Jengar extended universe.
I know, we got to do this.
Yeah. So, and the leopard and the bear are described in the text as ready to seize any intruder and throw them down into the left dungeon of hell and into the right dungeon of hell.
I mean, one takes one half, one takes the other half, right?
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
We couldn't decide which hell to put you in, so we ripped you in half and put you in both of them.
Why not both? Mingyan, how do you think Mingyan's feeling at the moment?
Tentative.
That's a very diplomatic way of putting it. He is trembling with fear, and actually tears are running down his cheeks.
Mm-hmm. Snake tears.
Yes. And I think maybe at some point he morphs back into a human, because I think the rest of this makes sense if he's in a human form. Okay, so let's imagine Mingyan as a human. He's handsome, he's buff, and he's freaking out. And then, at that moment, appears...
Yeah, because that's the what's the worst that can happen? He'll just give you a job. No, the worst that's going to happen is that he doesn't even wake up, and the bear and the leopard just rip you apart
and throw you into the dungeons of hell.
Into the dungeons of hell. It turns out.
Yeah. This is not an ordinary Tuesday. You know?
There's a worst case scenario than this. All is just like a very elaborate job interview.
Yeah. So suddenly appears that woman.
Nice.
Somehow, she's gotten into the throne room too, and she somehow manages to make the leopard fall asleep, and somehow she manages to make the bear fall asleep.
She's magic.
Yeah. And if that's not enough, she turns herself into a spider. Because this is a good match for him. Nice idea. So she turns herself into a spider and ever so deftly removes the amulet from around the neck of the sleeping Kerman Kahn. And then she, maybe as a spider, maybe as a human, scuttles on over or walks on over to Mingyan and places the amulet around his neck. And then she gives Mingyan further instructions. And so far, her instructions have a pretty good track record, right?
Yeah, everything's been good so far.
Yeah, this is her turf.
She's gotten farther than anybody expected so far.
Yeah. So she says, okay, so Mingyan, I hope you're taking notes. The leopard and the bear, they should stay asleep for, about 49 days. Okay, 49 days. That's like the number, whatever.
Yeah, 7 by 7. Seven weeks. 7 days a week, that 49 number comes up a lot.
It's nice, yeah. So that should give us time. And what I'm going to do, so Mingyan, just listen to what I'm going to say. I'm going to go get Golden Sharga, and I'm going to ride Golden Sharga to fight the guards inside the palace. And there are 18,000 total. So earlier we calculated, Ben, you and I calculated 16,000. Apparently there are actually 18,000 total.
There are 8 inside and 8 outside.
Yeah, and apparently
a couple more just showed up. Like what?
Yeah.
They've reinforced since they heard that the devil was coming from Jengar's court.
Yeah. And she says, I'm going to fight those guards. And then, because she knows that Mingyan's job is to get Kerman Kahn out of the palace. He's to exfiltrate him.
Yes.
So she says, okay, and then you and me, let's rendezvous outside the palace at dawn.
You grab the dude, I'll kill everybody else, and we'll just meet up outside. You'll know what to do.
At dawn, yes. Yeah.
Just do your tricks.
Yeah. So she leaves, and Mingyan, we're still in the throne room. Mingyan then he directs his attention to the actual goal of his mission, which is to capture Kerman Kahn and bring him back to Jengar. So the dude's asleep, and Mingyan actually takes the opportunity to take a little breather and take a good long drink from one of these huge, opulent yellow bowls that usually do contain the good stuff when you see them in a Khan's palace.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, oh, yeah.
Focus, Mingyan.
Yeah. Well, no. I mean, dude needs, he needs a power drink. He needs like a
drink a Red Bull before firemen's carry the Sultan out of the palace.
Yeah. So he takes a quaff, he's pumped, okay, and he's described as boiling 12 courages inside, and his eyes are rolling in their sockets, his heart's ready to burst out of his ribcage. He locks in. his vision as precise as a falcon's when it's on the attack. He bows 3 times. Remember that one solitary lantern that's dimly lighting this whole scene? He extinguishes that. He goes over to the sleeping Kerman Kahn and, yes, he steals the sword of yellow steel.
Nice. Yeah, you got to get that weapon away from him before he wakes up.
Yeah. Like this is not a teddy bear. This is a sword. Mm-hmm. And Mingyan raises the sword aloft and cries, "I am not the one who is raising his hand. Jengar Khan is raising his hand." And he stabs Kerman in the stomach 71 times.
Whoa.
And he turns the sword each time.
That was not expected. I thought he was going to steal him. I thought the whole point of this was to capture him. But he just whacks him, just executes him on the throne.
Well, this is Kerman Kahn. Kerman Kahn is not that easy to dominate,
I
shall
thought
we
he
say.
was like invincible with the amulet, but when you take the amulet off, he can be killed.
Well, he's weak as a child, but somehow, okay, I don't know. Somehow
I feel like there's some children that would go down if you stabbed him 71 times.
Many children would. Okay, but I guess the thing is, I guess his informants told him that Kerman Kahn was as weak as a child. Maybe not which child. Maybe he's as weak
Hercules.
Yes.
Baby Hercules.
That's how this makes sense. Yeah.
Okay.
So Kerman Kahn has been sliced, diced, and julienned, and he jumps right up onto his feet, grabs Mingyan and throws Mingyan into the right dungeon of hell. He doesn't even need the leopard or the bear. He's just like,
whoa, he's Thanos.
Yeah. Mingyan, okay, he's got style. Mingyan, he's being thrown down, but he bounces on the pinky toe of his right foot and jumps right back on his feet into the throne room.
From hell?
I mean, that's the assumption.
Yeah, I like it.
Kerman Kahn grabs Mingyan again and throws him into the left dungeon of hell. And Mingyan, once again, bounces on the pinky toe of his left foot and jumps back on his feet and grabs Kerman, wrestles him down, and throws him onto the throne. So Mingyan's got Kerman. He ties him up, he trusses him up, ties his hands and feet together across his back, which apparently is as wide as an anvil. And I have to confess, I don't have an anvil in front of me, so I don't really know how.
I feel like they come in different sizes.
Yeah.
It's probably like barrel chested, right? Like it's probably just an expression. Back as wide as an anvil is descriptive. I feel like it's poetic license.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, barrel chested. Like how big is the barrel? Who knows? Yeah. And he throws Kerman, who's all, trussed up, into a yellow sack. Never underestimate the value of a good tote bag.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. And Mingyan strides out of the palace. He's got Kerman Kahn, slung over his back, and he pushes open each of those 14 doors as he goes. He's no snake now. He's just barging on out.
Mm-hmm.
And meanwhile...
Got your king in a bag.
Yes. Yeah. And meanwhile, the woman from the palace, the maid, let's call her what the narrator of the epic is now calling her at this point. Lady Warrior.
Lady Warrior. I like it. She hadn't been named yet, and I was like, what's it going to be?
Yeah.
It's got to have a name, right?
Well, it's more of an epithet than a name.
Lady Warrior works. That's great.
Lady Warrior. Okay.
We ran into that with Pine Leaf was just like woman chief, and she was a real person, right?
So the Lady Warrior, meanwhile, has been fighting her way through all 1,800 internal guards, and Mingyan, with Kerman Kahn in the sack over his back, he jumps over the head of 3,000 of these guards and he sticks the landing. Nice. He lands right on Golden Sharga's saddle.
Nice. Very cowboy. Very Princess Bride.
Very, yes. And this is Golden Sharga's saddle, so it's a very nice saddle also. It has a comfortable pillow. It's adorned with Tibetan silver. Okay. So Mingyan, Golden Sharga, and the Lady Warrior, and also Kerman Kahn in a tote bag, are ready to go. We only have one horse.
And 3 people.
Yeah.
So she just kills all those warriors? She just fights them and defeats them? She just gets on the horse and just rides through all these guys?
I mean, we have no evidence that she didn't use wacky magical abilities, but...
Well, but all these guys are down, and she's Lady Warrior, and he just walks out the front door of the castle, and she's like, I dealt with all those. You got the one? Okay, cool. I got the other 18,000.
Yeah. Does the little thing where she just like blows on her nails. Like,
yeah, no. Oh, yeah, no, we're good. Yeah. Everything's fine.
NBD.
Told you I'd meet you out here.
Yeah.
Told you you'd know what to do.
Done. So we only have one horse, and we have 3 people. So the Lady Warrior, who has abilities, turns herself into a scarf.
Perfect.
Do you want to guess what color?
Yellow.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
He comes back. He's got the, he lived at a glass castle. He didn't live in a yellow castle, but he's got the yellow sword. He's got the yellow scarf, yellow bag.
Our royal beverages tend to be served in yellow bowls, yellow goblets. Yeah.
I wonder if that's like a kind of a golden type of reference.
Yeah,
like golden yellow
might be. Yeah. So Mingyan with Kerman Kahn in the bag and the Lady Warrior in scarf form around his neck. They're on Golden Sharga.
Blowing triumphantly in the wind behind him.
Yeah. Mingyan kicks the stirrups. Sharga sets off. With one leap of his hind legs, he covers the distance you could cover in one day. And with one jump of his forelegs, he could cover 2 days worth. I mean, who needs high-speed rail when you've got Golden Sharga? Actually, that would be a great name for a train. Golden Sharga.
That'd be an awesome name for a train.
Yeah, or like whatever. Anyway, Sharga, he's snorting fire. His hooves are trailing black dust and is just swirling up into clouds, reaching the great expanse of sky stretched out across the steppe. And the Lady Warrior, who, remember, is currently in the form of a yellow scarf, and I would hope it's a very stylish and elegant scarf, around Handsome Mingyan's neck. Yeah. She's using her powers to channel a tailwind, so giving Sharga even more oomph. And they go on like this for 5 days, and the sun is pounding down. Mingyan's maybe working up a bit of a sweat. He considers taking off his scarf, but obviously it's not just a scarf, it's Lady Warrior. So he keeps the yellow scarf. They head towards Bumba. But someone's riding after them. Who is it? The Lady Warrior recognizes the rider. It's warrior Leopard Mingyan, riding his horse, Shard Sokar.
He's catching up to them?
Apparently.
Whoa, that's bad news. They're kind of traveling maximum velocity for a horse at this time period, I feel like, with the magic horse, with the magic person and the tailwind and all that.
Yep, and he's catching up to them. So the Lady Warrior, and at this point, I'm not sure if she's a scarf or a human or what, but anyway, somehow she communicates to Mingyan. She says to Mingyan, okay, Mingyan, give me your bow, your blue bow, the one that's as wide as a door jamb. We have a chance. If, and only if, Leopard Mingyan's top button is unbuttoned, we can get him. But if his top button is not unbuttoned, we're not going to win this fight. So much depends on a button.
Yeah, this is like another lesson. This is for the children here. Like, if you unbutton your top button, don't go out in the cold without that top button buttoned. Bad things are going to happen to you. Got to zip it all the way to the top. It's cold out there.
Yep.
Okay, well, does he have his top button buttoned?
Okay, so Mingyan gives the Lady Warrior his blue bow, and she gets ready. Leopard Mingyan is in range, and she knocks an arrow. She aims. She lets it fly. Her aim is true, but will it hit Leopard Mingyan's neck, or will it hit his top button? Thank the sun. Leopard Mingyan had unbuttoned not just one, but 2 of his buttons.
Oh, see, Mingyan didn't take his scarf off, and he unbuttoned his buttons. It's another cautionary tale of going out in the steppe when it's cold, and if it doesn't seem that cold, you still wear your scarf or unbutton your buttons.
Yeah.
Some Lady Warrior was shooting a bow and arrow from 2 miles away.
Uh-huh.
Man,
Yeah.
she is doing some heavy lifting in this adventure.
She's doing some very heavy lifting, yes.
She had the plan. She took care of all those guys. She's shooting the arrow off the back of the horse. And I'm picturing, like you said, human form, like sitting backwards on the horse at like a full gallop, firing a bow and arrow, which is not easy to do.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. And her arrow is like, she just takes one arrow, wham, She gets Leopard Mingyan right there, like that place in the neck. And it actually goes through his neck and somehow manages to smash his head. I'm not entirely sure how this happens. I'm unclear on the anatomy, but whatever.
Kind of graphic in the movie version.
Yeah.
The arrow smashing his head.
Yeah. So this is Leopard Mingyan. And okay, we've got the arrow shot by the lady warrior. He collapses. And his horse, Shar-Tsochor, rushes to save him because, horses are awesome like that. Mm-hmm. But the lady warrior, she jumps off Golden Sharga and she runs over and she grabs Shar-Tsochor's halter and wraps his reins around her knee. She jams her sword into the ground and uses that as like an anchor to stop Shar-Tsochor from dragging her. And then that's how she manages to basically get Shar-Tsochor and also keep Shar-Tsochor from, rescuing Leopard Mingyan.
Mm-hmm.
And at that moment, Leopard Mingyan's spirit leaves his body.
Ooh, you don't see a lot of death in these stories.
Not as such, no. And Mingyan comes over. And he sees the situation, but he knows he can't leave anything to chance. So he approaches Leopard Mingyan's body. He takes off the armor, and then he cuts up Leopard Mingyan's body into pieces and burns all the pieces. And
he stabbed the king 71 times. He didn't go down. Like, you really can't take any chances in this world.
Exactly. So this is what he has to do to make sure that Leopard Mingyan doesn't magically resurrect.
Yeah, burn the body, nuke the site from orbit. Mm-hmm. Like, you got to do all the...
Yep. And then, obviously, he leads Shar-Tsochor, Leopard Mingyan's horse, back with him because Shar-Tsochor is a pretty cool horse.
Yeah, you got to take the horse. I mean, that solves your problem. Now she doesn't have to be a scarf anymore. You guys can ride the two horses.
Yeah. So then for 9 days, Mingyan, Golden Sharga, the Lady Warrior, Shar-Tsochor, and also remember Kerman Kahn shoved into a bag, they finally arrive back at Jengar's palace. And, all the noblemen are saying, all the Boer warriors are saying, hey, Mingyan, welcome back. Oh, you brought an extra battle horse. Cool. What's in the sack? Now, the thing is, what?
Oh, so this is a funny way of putting that. By the way, what's in the bag?
What's in the bag? Did you go to Costco? And Mingyan flips his stylish yellow scarf over his shoulder and invites Jengar's Boer warriors to open the sack. And yes, it's Kerman Kahn. They take him out and they're like, hey, Kerman Kahn, you want to come feast with us? Yeah. Okay. So all of Jengar's guys and Kerman Kahn are hanging around. They're feasting. They're drinking arza, And then finally, after like 49 days, Kerman Kahn gets up and approaches Jengar. What do you think happens at this point, Ben?
Does he declare himself subordinate to Jengar? I feel like that's how some of these end.
That's how a lot of them end. That's not how this one ends. Kerman Kahn just says, okay, and I'm just quoting the words. This is Saglar Bugdayeva's translation. He says, son of great Khan Uzunga, the only scion of the ancient dynasty, Jengar, rule your nation. And he walks out of the palace with 10 of the Saids, some sort of senior nobleman, and he gallops back on home.
Run your own country. I'm running mine. I'm far away from you.
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
Yeah.
And he just goes, and that's it?
He just goes, that's almost it. So he goes, and of course, everyone in the palace is like all abuzz. They're like, oh my God, did you see her just walk down like that? Bye, Felicia. Oh my goodness, what just happened? And so people are like, so was this a success? Was it a failure? Shaman Goldenheart decides to step in and just really loudly and obviously change the subject. So, hey, Mingyan, that's a really nice yellow scarf you've got on there. And then, of course, the scarf, turns itself into the lady warrior in human form. And everyone's like, oh, wow, who are you? And they invite the lady warrior to sit next to Shavd al-Khatun, who is Jengar's wife. And of course, people are all very, I don't know, gossipy, like, oh my goodness, Mingyan and the lady warrior, like, is there something like, are they an item, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think, Ben, you were maybe kind of...
It seems like that's the direction would be going if this was not a Jengar story. So I really have no idea how this is going to end.
Yeah.
I thought there was a chance, like, I think there's an equal chance that she's just like, Jengar, rule your kingdom, and then she just like leaves. I'm just waiting for Mingyan to mess this up. I feel like it's a good, he's gotten this far, but I just feel like he's going to pull a Jason here and botch it somehow.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know, you know. So I'll tell you the story as I understand it. So, you know, everyone's like, oh my goodness, they're like totally shipping Mingyan and the lady warrior in their heads. Like, oh my goodness, they would be such a cute couple. Mingyan, are you going to propose to her?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so they say, hey, Mingyan, this lady warrior, are you going to ask her to be your wife? And Mingyan says, oh, she saved my life. She has way more merit than me. I can't possibly make her my wife. And Mingyan does not marry the lady warrior. However,
she's too awesome.
She's apparently, yes. She's
like,
awesomer
too awesome.
than
I
Mingyan.
Can't marry her. It's like it would be.
He can't deal. Yeah.
Just can't.
Yeah.
Huh.
However, there is someone else in Jengar's court who is not threatened by her awesomeness, and that is a man by the name of Alia Shankar, and he is the son of Shaman Goldenheart.
No.
So Alia Shankar, Shaman Goldenheart's son, and the lady warrior, they get married. And from what I understand, Alia Shankar, he's actually had some amazing feats of his own. Like, I don't think he's killed 18,000 guys, but he's defeated 10,000 guys in some other episode.
Right, but good on him for not being like intimidated by her being 8,000 warriors better than him, right? Like, I think that's like, you know, I think it's...
okay, she makes more than I do. Okay, cool, you know?
Yeah, but like, that's good for us, right? Like, a relationship is not a zero-sum game where if one person's up, the other person's down. Like, it's not us. It's like spouses against, it's not spouse against spouse. It's like, it's like us against the world, right? That's how I kind of view relationships. So you have to, you know, if your wife's awesome, that is good for you. It's not a thing that you should feel threatened about.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, okay, so it works out, and it sounds like this guy is a good guy too, and maybe they just didn't hit it off personally. Just because she's an awesome warrior and saved his life doesn't necessarily mean that he has to marry her.
Exactly. Yeah. Maybe they have a professional relationship.
Yeah. Maybe while they were writing back for those whatever, I'm gonna guess 3 months that they were writing. Yeah. He was like, you know, I know just the guy for you.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to like this guy. He's awesome. You just tell him just like him.
And I mean, apparently she already knows Shaman Goldenheart, or at least somehow she knows him. And
she can appreciate the sage words of wise old sage, so she can kind of get into the Shaman Goldenheart thing. So maybe she can appreciate this guy. He's probably wise in some way.
One hopes. Yeah.
So it's a happy ending. I was really waiting for a piece of the boat to fall on, a piece of the Argo to break off and fall on somebody, but it didn't happen here.
No. It's just
I like this Jengar world. It's like always kind of like a happy ending.
Yeah. Maybe not always what you expect, but yeah.
It's even a happy ending for Kerman Kahn. It's a happy ending for everybody except for that leopard dude who got cut up and set on fire.
And the gadflies.
Oh, and the gadflies.
R.I.P. the gadflies.
And that giant screaming camel.
Yeah.
You got to break a few.
And who knows? Maybe Mingyan will go back and hang out with the witches, and they'll have a good time. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean the witches, they're still hanging out. They're still doing their thing, luring people to their deaths.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I mean that's fine.
Like you do. Yeah. Mingyan can handle it. I have faith in Mingyan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are the takeaways? Listen to your elders, and
Yeah. Well, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's a Jengar story, and that's all the time we have for today. So, Pat, thanks for bringing that story. That was awesome. Jengar never fails to impress.
Yeah.
And thank you guys, as always, for listening to this episode. We're always happy to have you here. So, anyway, please do like and subscribe and all of those things. If you like this, definitely go back and listen to the other 2 Jengar episodes. And otherwise, we'll see you next week with another badass.
stay badass.
Badass of the Week is produced by High Five Content. Executive producers are me, Ben Thompson, Dr. Patricia Larish, and Andrew Jacobs. Writing is by me and Pat. Story editing by Ian Jacobs. Mixing and music and sound design by Jude Brewer. Special thanks to Noel Brown at iHeartRadio. Badass of the Week is based on my website, badassoftheweek.com, where you can read all sorts of stories about other badasses. If you want to reach out with questions or ideas, you can email us at badasspodcast@badassoftheweek.com. If you like this podcast, please subscribe, follow, listen, and tell your friends and tell your enemies. And please leave us a rating. We'll be back next week with another one.